Being a Mets fan, myself, if you're a fellow Mets fan, I know there's a lot of people here in the Tri-State area that listen, so I'm sure there's some Mets fans scattered about in the audience. It's not easy. That I don't have to tell you that. If you're a fan of any of the other 29 baseball teams, you see the Mets, you laugh at a distance. It's hilarious. They just can't get out of the way. But truly living and breathing as a Mets fan, it is awful. It's awful. And we've seen a lot of craziness, we'll say. Use some other words, we'll say craziness. But what takes the cake, what really honestly tops everything else, is what every Mets fan experienced yesterday. Because it was one of the most bizarre, if not the most bizarre days. And there have been plenty of examples. There's been a Mets executive taking his shirt off and challenging minor leaguers to a fight. There's been a general manager calling out a member of the media, feeling that he's trying to angle for his job. There's been managers fired at 3 a.m. on the tarmac. There's been a litany of issues with the Mets that, honestly, if I had to list everything, the show would have to be 10 hours and maybe multiple days. To summate, the Mets are a joke. I said a joke. A disaster and a joke. That was a combination of both. The Mets are a disaster, the Mets are a joke. Yesterday, again, another incident happens. And yesterday, so what happened was, Yoenis Cespedes no-shows. He's in Atlanta. He's in his hotel room. He's there the night before. Supposed to come to the ballpark on Sunday. Doesn't show up. Doesn't reach out to management. And essentially the Mets don't know where he is. So this leads to, at game time, the Mets putting out this statement, quote, "As of game time, Yoenis Cespedes has not reported to the ballpark today. He did not reach out to management with any explanation for his absence. Our attempts to contact him have been unsuccessful." Excuse me, end quote. A very eerie, dark message. An hour later, they clarified the message a little bit by saying, "We have no reason to believe he's in danger." Now, what ended up happening was Cespedes' agent finally alerted the team towards the end of the game that he was opting out of the season. So Yoenis Cespedes basically went AWOL, and he was okay. He wasn't abducted. He didn't go missing. He just didn't want to play anymore. And the Athletic reported that at least Cespedes' mother is ill, and that the outbreaks between the Marlins and the Cardinals worried him, and he changed his philosophy on playing. Fine. If that's true, I have no problem with Cespedes opting out. I don't. Any player who doesn't feel safe should not continue to play. The issue is now with Cespedes opting out. The issue is with the Mets statement and Cespedes just going AWOL, not telling anyone. Both sides are at fault here. Cespedes is way more at fault. The Mets do have to have some blame here. To me, you can't put out a statement right as the game time happens. We don't know where he is. He didn't report. Our attempts to contact him are unsuccessful. There's no explanation. Because I'll be honest, you search Twitter, you see everyone's reaction, the first thing your mind goes to, he's abducted, he's dead. It's a dark place. But when you see an eerie message with no details, no specifics, unfortunately, that's where your brain goes. A lot of people wishing they're giving well wishes to Cespedes. Now, what we don't know is if the Mets put this out there in an attempt to shame Cespedes, because again, an hour later, after social media blows up with everyone praying for Cespedes, praying he's okay, and honestly thinking the worst, the Mets said an hour later, "Oh, we have no reason to believe he's in danger." And so makes you believe, at least, the Mets had an idea of what Cespedes was doing or where he was, and they were trying to shame him. Hey, listen, Cespedes went AWOL, and he did. But we don't know where he is. It's kind of like, we're trying, but we don't really know. They claim the Mets at least tried to be transparent. But to me, it backfired completely. You can't put some sort of statement out there without any details and then basically, say, okay, people are going to accept that. It legitimately was fearing for his life, thinking the worst. So you can try to, you can have a sense of what's going on. You can have a sense of where he is. If you're trying to embarrass him, that's not the way to do it. Because the public took it the wrong way and it backfired on the Mets completely, which is classic Mets. Classic Mets. Trying to set an example. Maybe trying to shame Cespedes, not for opting out, but for the way he did it. Basically packing up his bags and leaving. You wanted to kind of shame him, kind of make him look like the bad guy. Well, the Mets The Mets did it in the absolute worst way possible. So that's why the Mets are wrong. Their statement was too eerie. You can't really put out a statement saying we don't know where he is. And an hour later said we have no reason to believe he's in danger. Well, how do you know that? Either you know where he is, so you lied in the original statement, or you hope that he's in no danger, but you really don't know. Mets were PR clowns. And Cespedes, I mean, do you even really have to start? You really can't tell anybody you're not opting out? You really have to send the public into a panic? Think about it. No one knew where he was. The Mets statement, when you hear it, the first thing you think of, he is dead. As of game time, Yoenis Cespedes has not reported to the ballpark today. He did not reach out to management with any explanation for his absence. Our attempts to contact him have been unsuccessful. That's what the Mets put out there. First thing everyone thinks about, he is dead. He is abducted. He is in danger. He's in trouble. This is not Little League. Act with some sort of be a professional. Have some maturity. Think about it. Would any of us, if we quit our jobs right now, not tell anyone, if I was to quit this radio show right now, if I said, you know what, radio's not for me, sports radio's not for me, I'm going to try something else. Or you know what, I just don't want to do it anymore. You know what I would do? Tell somebody. Tell you, the audience. Tell my boss. I wouldn't just not show up. And then when my boss or any of you try to reach out to me, just ghost them. Guess what? Your mind goes to some dark places. Some panic ensues. And now you have people worrying for no reason. So, I don't understand his thought process. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it's so Mets. Only a player on their team would go AWOL. And not to mention his reasoning. Cespedes' reasoning. Part of the reason why is that, the Athletic, again, is reporting that his mother is sick. She's the test popping up. He doesn't want to get sick. Okay. Well, there's another report out there that Cespedes was upset about being benched because he thought it was strictly for the reason for him not to get his incentives. Cespedes' contract this year is all incentive-based. He has to perform well. If he performs well, he gets a lot more money. Certain at-bats, certain amount of hits, you get more money. So he felt that he was being benched, so the Mets don't have to pay him more money. Yo, look in the mirror. You stunk. You guys are striking every other at-bat. You're not playing because the Mets aren't trying to squeeze a few pennies out of you. You're not playing because you can't hit. So that was just, bizarre day. It starts with the Mets stinking. Oh, my God. I'm not even going to get into that. I can't even talk about their play on the field. It's been so bad. But it starts with the Mets not playing well. A few minutes into the game, it comes out that they don't know where Cespedes is. They put out an eerie statement that you can insinuate he's dead, he's in trouble, he's kidnapped, he's missing. Only an hour later, actually, we have no reason to believe he's in danger. Then it comes out, Cespedes packed up and left, told the team he's opting out, but told the team in the 8th inning. Just a clown show. Cespedes, good riddance. I think the Mets are better off without him at this point anyway. He's been so bad. But one less thing to worry about. If you don't want to be professional, fine, don't be professional. Just don't do it here. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. And now the Mets will move on. Without Cespedes to get some of the young guys in. But it was just, a very bizarre day. Very bizarre. And then it ends, of course, with the Mets general manager going on a Zoom session after the game, explaining what happened, and then saying, we put out the statement, we want to be transparent, we want to keep everyone in the loop. Then ends the Zoom conference with a ton of questions still, reporters trying to ask questions. Yeah, we're going to be transparent. We're here to, we want to let everyone know what's going on. Takes one question. Okay, we're done here. Despite you have 10 other questions still want to be asked. Transparency. The New York Mets, man, they know how to do it. They know how to do it. So that was just a peek into what my Sunday was like. Stressful, bizarre, worrisome. There are a lot of emotions, and only the Mets could really capture all those emotions, all the negative emotions, I should say. No positives. No positives yesterday. Only the Mets could really channel and bring out all those negative emotions at once. Congratulations, Mets, you did it again.